Now, there's been a surge in violence across West Africa's Sahel region. The number of people killed in attacks in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger jumped from 770 in 2016 to more than 4,000 last year. It's largely because of a combination of attacks by armed groups and intercommunal violence. Remote areas where the state's presence is weak are especially vulnerable. The humanitarian cost is also growing. The UN estimates 500,000 people have been displaced, a tenfold increase in 3 years. Let's speak to our regional correspondent, Ahmed Idris, who's in Nigeria's capital, Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Ahmed, the death toll from this latest attack jumping significantly. What more are you learning about the circumstances of the attack itself?
Well, basically, like you said, these are areas that are less protected. If you look at the countries of the Sahel, they are vast and largely unmanned. Are the countries able to police their borders? The answer is no. Do they? Simply because they don't have the manpower and resources to do that. So these groups, these fighter groups, actually are getting bolder. And with the conflict in Libya and other parts of North Africa and West Africa, these groups are having a field day, especially targeting military convoys, military installations in that region. So the attack in Chinagodrar was actually carried out, according to some sources, by rebels or other fighters who came in from Mali, just like the incident in December 2019 when we saw 71 Niger soldiers killed in that attack. Now, the government is talking about killing 63 fighters in the attack on the military base, but a lot of people believe that these attacks will continue simply because the governments in the region do not have the manpower and resources to deal with these fighters who seem to be trained and well coordinated and also have connections with foreign hardline groups like Al-Qaeda, like ISIL, like groups like Boko Haram. And if you look at the dynamics of the region as well, it's not only the countries of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, and the rest that have these problems. Come to the other side of the conflict. In Nigeria, what you have is Boko Haram growing bolder by the day, attacking military formations, setting up roadblocks on major highways in Nigeria, abducting people, especially security forces and their families. So a lot of people think that before this situation gets any better, it will probably get worse.
So, yeah, indeed. And the leaders of the region, the Sahel in particular, have called for international support. There is already a foreign presence there. The French troops are on the ground, as well as a regional African force. These leaders are meeting the French President Emmanuel Macron on Monday in a few days. What can we expect from that?
Well, basically, France will probably promise more aid, but it wants to define the boundaries, what kind of help it can give these countries and how far it can go. Already, France has more than 4,500 troops in the region, in the Sahel in particular, and people in the region are actually wondering, why are these attacks continuing? For example, in Mali, there are more than 15,000 international forces in that country, and we continue to see violence, not only in Mali, but spilling from Mali into neighboring countries. Burkina Faso, Niger, all these countries are not safe, yet we have thousands and thousands of international troops in the region, and people in the region don't find it amusing at all. A lot of people are angry, calling for withdrawal of these forces unless they are willing to take action to stop these fighters. Many people, I spoke to one person in particular in Bamako when Al Jazeera was there just a few weeks ago, and he said, look, if the international community wants this madness, as he said, as he called it, to end, it will probably end in 1 or 2 weeks, simply because there are enough resources on the part of international forces, United Nations. If they want to end this, they can support the regional armies to deal with the problem. However, a lot of people are not happy that with the presence of many international troops on their soil, this conflict continue to claim lives and displace thousands of people.
Thank you, Ahmed, for that. Ahmed Idris live for us in Abuja, Nigeria.